and welcome to Sleepy Robot. I'm so glad you've found your way here tonight. Maybe you've had a long day, or maybe you're someone who likes to fall asleep while thinking about cosmic mysteries instead of counting sheep. Either way, tonight's journey is for you. You don't need to do anything now. Just let your mind slow down. Let your breathing become softer, and allow your body to feel light, as if gravity itself has eased. Because tonight, we're not simply looking at the stars from afar. We're stepping into them. Imagine yourself drifting slowly, weightless, through the quiet ocean of space. Around you, rivers of light stretch across the darkness, billions of suns woven together into a great spiral. This is the Milky Way, our galactic home, a city of stars so vast that it takes light itself 100,000 years to cross from one side to the other. Yet from here, it feels calm, gentle, as though the galaxy is breathing around us, carrying us softly in its arms. But the Milky Way is more than beauty. Beneath its glowing arms, secrets hide. There are stars wandering alone, invisible forces shaping its structure, and ancient remnants older than the galaxy itself. And beyond the science we know, human imagination has filled these stars with empires, explorers, and galaxies far, far away. Tonight, you'll hear whispers of black holes at the galactic center, of nurseries where stars are born, and of civilizations imagined in science fiction that stretch across the stars. Each fact is a small step deeper into wonder, some true, some dreamed, all designed to ease your thoughts, slow your breathing, and guide you gently toward rest. Imagine standing at one edge of our galaxy, looking across its glowing arms. The Milky Way is so vast that even light, the fastest thing in the universe, would need more than 100,000 years to travel from one side to the other. Think of that for a moment. If a beam of light had begun its journey when the very first humans walked the Earth, it would still be at the very beginning of its path across the galaxy. And yet, from where we are, it feels gentle, almost delicate, like a river of stars flowing quietly through space. Inside this vast spiral, live between 100 and 400 billion stars, each star is its own sun, some larger and brighter than ours, others smaller and dimmer. Every one of them may have planets, moons, or entire systems of worlds. When you gaze at the Milky Way on a clear night, you are seeing only a fraction of these suns, a handful out of billions. It's like looking at a city in the distance, knowing that behind every light there is a story, a world, perhaps even life. The Milky Way is not just wide, it is graceful. Its shape is that of a barred spiral, with long, sweeping arms that curve outward like waves frozen in time. At the center lies a glowing bar of stars, stretching across the core like a golden bridge. From above, it would look like a flower, slowly turning, petals of light drifting in the darkness. And we are just one small part of that spiral, moving gently along one of its arms. Our galaxy is ancient. It has existed for 13.6 billion years, almost as long as the universe itself. In that time, stars have been born, lived, and died, scattering their elements into space. Planets have formed, collided, and reformed. The Milky Way has grown, absorbing smaller galaxies, slowly shaping itself into the spiral we see today. It is older than Earth, older than the Sun, older than almost everything we know. And yet, it continues to change, like a story that never ends. Our solar system is not at the center of the galaxy. Instead, we live in a quiet neighborhood called the Orion Arm, far from the bustling core. Here, the stars are fewer, the space calmer. It is like living in the suburbs of a great galactic city, close enough to feel its glow, far enough to enjoy the peace. From this little corner, we look out at the arms of the Milky Way, watching the spiral stretch across the sky. It is here in this gentle place, that life on Earth has had the time and space to grow. The Milky Way is always in motion. Our Sun, along with all its planets, orbits the center of the galaxy in a long, slow journey. One complete orbit takes about 225 million years. That means the last time our solar system was in this part of the galaxy, dinosaurs walked the Earth. The galaxy spins so slowly that we cannot feel it, yet it carries us gently, like a boat drifting on a silent, endless sea. At the very heart of the Milky Way lies something mysterious. A supermassive black hole called Sagittarius A*. It is invisible, hidden behind clouds of dust, but astronomers can see how nearby stars dance around it. It has the mass of millions of suns packed into a single point. And yet, from our safe distance, it feels quiet, like a sleeping giant. It pulls on the stars, guiding the entire galaxy with its invisible hand. Surrounding the Milky Way are dozens of dwarf galaxies, small collections of stars that orbit us like companions. They are faint, delicate, and easily torn apart by our galaxy's gravity. Some are being slowly absorbed, their stars stretched into streams of light that wrap around the Milky Way. It is as if our galaxy is gently gathering them into its arms, weaving them into its spiral over billions of years. When we look at the Milky Way, we see billions of stars. But most of its mass is something we cannot see: dark matter. It doesn't shine, it doesn't reflect light, but it holds the galaxy together. Without it, the stars would drift apart into the void. Dark matter is like the silent frame of the cosmos, an invisible skeleton that shapes everything we know. It is a reminder that most of the universe is still a mystery. Beyond the spiral arms, beyond the glowing disk, the Milky Way has a halo, a faint sphere of ancient stars. These stars are old, older than most in the galaxy, silent witnesses of its earliest days. They orbit slowly, far above the galactic plane, watching from the outskirts. It is as if they were the galaxy's memories, glowing faintly at the edges of time. Their light is weak, but steady, a reminder that even the quietest parts of the universe carry stories billions of years old. Every star in the Milky Way could be the center of its own solar system. Some stars may have only one or two planets. Others could have many, circling like dancers around a flame. Astronomers now believe there are more planets than stars in our galaxy. That means hundreds of billions of possible worlds, some rocky, some gaseous, some perhaps covered in oceans. Each star in the night sky could be the sun of someone else's sky, a reminder that the universe is filled with possibilities we have only just begun to imagine. Stars are born not in silence, but in clouds, vast, drifting seas of gas and dust called nebulae. From a distance, a nebula looks like a faint, glowing mist. But up close, it is a storm of cosmic material, slowly folding in on itself under the pull of gravity. Imagine being inside one. Around you, endless curtains of dust ripple like smoke frozen in time. Here and there, denser knots of matter gather, collapsing tighter and tighter until something extraordinary happens: a spark. Nuclear fire ignites, and a star is born. Some nebulae stretch across dozens of light years, so large that if you could travel at the speed of light, it would take you centuries to cross. Inside these cradles, dozens or even hundreds of stars may form together, like siblings born in the same cosmic womb. Astronomers call them stellar nurseries, and the name feels right. They are places of beginnings, where the galaxy breathes new life into existence. To look at one is to witness creation itself, not loud, not violent, but slow, gentle, and inevitable. Among all these nurseries, one shines brighter than most: the Orion Nebula. On clear nights, you can find it just below Orion's belt, a faint glow to the naked eye. But through even a small telescope, it transforms into something astonishing: swirls of violet and blue, ribbons of light shaped like wings, a glowing cloud stretching across the darkness. Inside this nebula, stars are being born at this very moment. Some are tiny, still gathering the mass they need to shine. Others have just ignited, their young light piercing the dust around them. These suns are mere infants, only a few million years old, compared to our ancient sun, which has burned for more than 4 billion years. The Orion Nebula is a reminder that the galaxy is still alive, still creating, still renewing itself. When you look at it, you are not just gazing at a cloud of gas. You are looking into a cosmic cradle, where future stars, and perhaps even future worlds, are waiting to take shape. Think of it. In that glowing cloud may lie the beginnings of planets, and on some of those planets, perhaps one day, life. Every time we raise our eyes to Orion, we are watching the universe dream its next chapter into existence. Not all stars wander the galaxy alone. Many are born together in groups, bound by gravity, and they remain companions for millions or even billions of years. These families of stars are called clusters. Some, known as open clusters, are young and scattered, like loose gatherings of siblings. The Pleiades, shining in the night sky, are one such group, a handful of blue stars glowing like jewels on velvet. Others are far older and far more tightly bound. These are the globular clusters, spherical swarms of hundreds of thousands of stars orbiting the Milky Way like lanterns circling a great city. To look at a cluster is to see community written in light. Every star within it has its own journey, yet together they drift as one, slowly circling the galaxy across unimaginable spans of time. Scattered among the younger suns are a few stars that are almost as old as time itself. One such star, found in the Milky Way, is more than 13 billion years old. It was born not long after the Big Bang, when the universe was still in its infancy. Its light is faint, its elements simple. Unlike our sun, rich with heavy metals, this ancient star is made mostly of hydrogen and helium, the first ingredients of creation. It has burned quietly for billions upon billions of years, a steady ember glowing since the dawn of the cosmos. When astronomers study it, they are peering back to the earliest chapters of existence, written not in words, but in starlight. Deep in the galactic core, near the hidden heart of Sagittarius A*, there are stars locked in a dangerous dance. They orbit at breathtaking speeds, whipping around the black hole in tight, elliptical paths. To circle so close is to live at the edge of destruction, where gravity bends space and time. Astronomers have watched these stars for decades, tracing their loops through the dust. Their movements are proof that something immense and invisible waits at the center. From our safe distance, it is like watching fireflies circle around a dark flame, pulled by a force we cannot see. And yet, they endure bright sparks of light, surviving in the shadow of the galaxy's most powerful mystery. Imagine the quiet of the Milky Way, a silence so deep that even sound itself has no meaning. Within that silence, hidden across our galaxy, lie thousands upon thousands of invisible mysteries. Stellar black holes. A stellar black hole is born in death. When a massive star exhausts its fuel, it can no longer resist its own gravity. The star collapses inward, layer upon layer, until all of its mass is compressed into a single point of unimaginable density. This is the birth of a black hole, a place where gravity is so strong that not even light can escape. And yet, though they are dark, they are not empty. Matter that drifts too close spirals inward, heating as it falls, glowing briefly before vanishing beyond the event horizon. Astronomers sometimes detect this glow, a final whisper of light, before it is silenced forever. Picture these black holes scattered like silent lanterns, with their lights turned off. You cannot see them, but you know they are there. They bend the space around them, tugging at nearby stars, shaping the orbits of unseen planets. They are quiet architects of the galaxy, sculpting in shadows. Some black holes drift alone, wandering like cosmic ghosts. Others rest at the hearts of star clusters, surrounded by companions that slowly, inevitably, are drawn inward. And though their pull is fierce, they are patient. A black hole can wait for billions of years, until chance brings a star, a planet, or even just a cloud of dust too close. Think of how many may exist across the Milky Way. Thousands, perhaps millions. Each one, a remnant of a life, once brilliant. Every atom inside your body, the iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, once burned in stars. And some of those stars ended in silence, collapsing into black holes. In that sense, the story of these dark objects is tied forever to us. Now close your eyes. Imagine drifting through the galaxy, passing near one of these invisible giants. You cannot see it, but you feel it. The stars around it curve, their paths bending subtly, as though bowing to something unseen. You float past quietly, safely, at a distance. The black hole does not reach for you. It simply waits, a motionless shadow in the endless night. As you breathe slowly, picture this silence. Not fearful, not violent, just calm. A black hole is not an enemy. It is part of the balance of the universe, the dark resting place of once bright suns. It reminds us that even endings are natural, and that within every ending lies the seed of something new. The Milky Way is not frozen. It breathes. It grows. Even now, billions of years after its birth, our galaxy continues to create new stars. The process is gentle, almost imperceptible. Clouds of gas drift together, merging slowly until the pull of gravity grows strong enough to ignite a new Sunday. Each one begins as a faint ember, aglow within the darkness, until at last nuclear fire bursts alive. Another star joins the city of light. But today, the galaxy's rhythm is slower than in its youth. Billions of years ago, the Milky Way was alive with furious creation stars forming everywhere, bright, hot, and short-lived. Now, the pace is calmer, like an elder moving gracefully instead of rushing. Only a handful of stars are born each year in our galaxy. Still, that handful is enough. Every new star is the start of a story. Around it may form planets, oceans, atmospheres. Some of those planets may remain barren rocks. Others may bloom with possibilities. And perhaps, far in the future, life will awaken under one of those newborn suns. Picture this. Somewhere, right now, deep within a glowing nebula, a star is igniting. Its light is faint, not yet strong enough to pierce the dust around it. But in time, it will shine brightly enough to join the others in the night sky. It may take millions of years, but it will happen. And perhaps one evening, far in the future, a being on a distant world will look up at that star and wonder about its origins. They will see it as we see our sun, a steady companion in the sky, giver of warmth, source of life. And they will not know that once, long ago, it was just a faint flicker in a hidden cradle of dust. So breathe deeply. As you exhale, imagine the slow rhythm of the galaxy, creating new stars as softly as waves washing upon a shore. Not hurried, not desperate, just endless. Even as some stars die, scattering their elements, others are born. The balance continues. The Milky Way is ancient, but not finished. It still writes new chapters, one star at a time. And as you drift towards sleep, let this thought rest with you, that creation never stops. That somewhere, even now, the universe is still beginning. Far beyond the spiral arms of the Milky Way, drifting quietly in the dark, lies another giant galaxy, Andromeda. It is our closest neighbor, And though it is 2.5 million light-years away, it can still be seen from Earth with the naked eye, as a faint blur of light in the night sky. Imagine that distance, 2.5 million years. When the light you see tonight began its journey, there were no cities, no pyramids, no human history at all. Our ancestors were small and fragile, wandering across the earth. And yet, that same light has crossed the void, patiently, year after year, century after century, until at last it reaches your eyes. Andromeda is larger than the Milky Way, with perhaps 1 trillion stars. It is like another great city of light, floating quietly across the cosmic ocean. Some of its stars may already host planets, moons, even life we cannot imagine. Picture yourself drifting toward it. First, you pass through the quiet halo of our own galaxy. Then, in the distance, you see Andromeda begin to grow. At first, it is only a smudge, faint and far. But slowly, softly, it expands a glowing spiral, arms stretching like wings. To think, another galaxy so close, visible from our backyard of stars. Its presence reminds us that we are not alone in the cosmos. The universe is not a solitary stage. It is a gathering of galaxies, families drifting together in the darkness. And as you breathe in and out, slowly, let the thought of Andromeda settle in your mind. Another home, another spiral, another endless story, waiting silently in the night. The Milky Way and Andromeda are not still. Both are moving, carried by invisible currents of gravity. And in about 4 billion years, they will meet. The word collision sounds violent, but galaxies are mostly empty space. When they pass through one another, their stars will not crash like cars on a highway. Instead, they will drift past, like dancers weaving together, their paths altered by gravity, not destruction. Imagine watching this cosmic dance. From a safe distance, you would see 2 spirals approaching, slowly at first, then with increasing speed. Their arms would stretch, twist, and tangle, creating bridges of stars. New regions of star formation would ignite, lighting the skies with newborn suns. Over time, hundreds of millions of years, the 2 galaxies would merge. Not with an explosion, but with a graceful blending. Stars would settle into new orbits. Dust and gas would swirl, feeding bursts of creation. The Milky Way and Andromeda would become one. Astronomers call the future galaxy Milkomeda. It will be larger, brighter, and more complex than either of its parents. And yet, even then, the night sky from some distant planet may feel calm, quiet, filled with stars as it does today. As you breathe now, slowly, deeply, let this thought soothe you. That even collisions can be graceful. That even endings create beginnings. And that in the universe, nothing is ever truly lost, only transformed, reshaped, reborn. When the Milky Way and Andromeda finally merge, a new galaxy will emerge. Astronomers call it Milkomeda, a blending of the 2 names, a symbol of union. Picture it, a colossal galaxy, perhaps twice the size of the Milky Way, with trillions of stars. Its core will glow brighter, its arms may stretch wider, its shape uncertain but magnificent. To imagine Milkomeda is to imagine the future of our home. Earth itself may be long gone by then, but the stars will continue their dance. Worlds will still form, new suns will still rise, and life, somewhere, may continue. From a distant vantage point, Milkomeda will look like a grand whirlpool of light, luminous and vast. It will carry within it the history of 2 galaxies, every star, every cluster, every remnant folded together into one. And perhaps, far in the future, beings in that galaxy will look up and tell stories. Stories of how 2 great rivers of stars once drifted apart, then found each other again. Stories of a union written not in ink, but in light. As you close your eyes, think of Milkomeda. Think of the merging of paths, the blending of journeys. Think of how the universe does not rush, but waits patiently for billions of years to weave its masterpieces. And let that patience become yours. Let it guide your breathing, slow and steady. Because like Milkomeda, your own story is still unfolding calm, endless, and filled with light. Dato 24. Expandido. La Vía Láctea y Andrómeda forman parte del grupo loco. Close your eyes and imagine the universe as a great ocean. In this ocean, galaxies are like islands, some small, some vast, some bright, some faint. And like islands, they are rarely alone. The Milky Way is one such island, but it is not solitary. It belongs to a small family of galaxies called the local group. The local group contains more than 80 galaxies. Most of them are small and faint, dwarf galaxies with only a few million stars. A handful, like the Milky Way and Andromeda, are giants, glowing with hundreds of billions of suns. Picture this: family floating together in the dark. The galaxies drift, orbit, and interact, connected by gravity like threads you cannot see. Some move gently around the larger ones. Some are slowly being pulled apart, their stars stretched into long rivers of light. Together, they form a cluster, a gathering, a home within the vast universe. If you could step outside and look down upon the local group, it would seem delicate, small, compared to the immensity of the cosmos. And yet for us, it is everything. It is our neighborhood, our corner of the great ocean. Imagine drifting among them, galaxy to galaxy. Past Andromeda, past the Milky Way, past the Magellanic Clouds, you would see the faint glow of smaller galaxies, like candles flickering in the dark. Each one is quiet. Each one is ancient. Each one holds stories we may never know. And as you breathe slowly now, let this image calm you. The local group, a small family of galaxies, floating gently together, keeping each other company in the endless night. The local group is not empty. It is filled with galaxies of all sizes, more than 80 inches total. Some are grand spirals, like our Milky Way and Andromeda. Others are tiny dwarfs, each with only a sprinkling of stars. Imagine walking into a vast hall filled with lanterns. Some lanterns shine brightly, lighting the whole room. Others are faint, glowing softly, barely visible. This is the local group, a hall of galaxies, some large, some small, but all glowing together. Among the faintest are dwarf galaxies like the Sagittarius dwarf or the Magellanic Clouds. They orbit the Milky Way like companions, sometimes pulled apart by our galaxy's stronger gravity. Their stars are stretched into long streams, beautiful trails across the sky. The larger galaxies, the Milky Way, Andromeda, and Triangulum, act like anchors, holding the group together with their immense mass. Around them, the smaller galaxies move gently, slowly, like moths circling a flame. Picture yourself drifting through this gathering. First you pass a giant spiral, arms glowing and alive. Then, far off in the distance, a faint smudge appears, a dwarf galaxy, quiet and fragile. Inside, perhaps only a few million stars. Yet even there, life might have bloomed. Even there, stories might exist. Each galaxy, large or small, is a world of possibilities. Each one is a light in the dark. And together, the 80 galaxies of the local group remind us that even in the vastness of space, nothing exists in complete isolation. As you exhale, slowly, imagine this family of galaxies, bound together not by walls or oceans, but by gravity, the invisible thread of the universe, holding them close for billions of years. Dato 26 expandido. Todas las galaxias del grupo local están dentro del supercúmulo de Virgo. Imagine zooming out. First, you see the Milky Way, our glowing spiral of stars. Then you see Andromeda, our great neighbor. Then the many small galaxies of the local group. But the journey does not end there. For even our family of galaxies is part of something greater. All of them, every star and every cluster, belong to a much larger structure, the Virgo supercluster. The Virgo supercluster contains thousands of galaxies, stretching across a vast region of space. Imagine a great continent of stars, where each galaxy is like a shining city. Some are close, almost neighbors. Others are far, connected only by the invisible threads of gravity. And yet, together, they move as one. They drift, slowly, across the darkness, part of a cosmic current that flows beyond anything we can see. Picture yourself floating at the edge of this supercluster. You look back, and you see thousands of glowing spirals, thousands of luminous spheres. It is like standing on a mountain at night, gazing at a valley filled with countless lanterns, each one a galaxy, each one a home. The Virgo supercluster reminds us of scale. The Milky Way feels enormous, and it island, but it is only a drop in a vast river of galaxies. As you breathe in, imagine the size of this structure. As you breathe out, let the thought comfort you that we are part of something so immense, so beautiful, so connected. A single galaxy, within a cluster, within a supercluster, a chain of belonging that stretches into infinity. Now zoom out once more. Beyond the Virgo supercluster lies something even larger, a structure so vast that its name carries the weight of oceans. It is called Laniakea, a Hawaiian word meaning immeasurable heaven. Laniakea is not just one cluster, but many, all bound together by gravity into a single colossal structure. It stretches across 500 million light-years, containing more than 100,000 galaxies. Imagine that. 100,000 galaxies, each with billions of stars, each with billions of possible worlds. From far enough away, Laniakea looks like a great web of light, threads of galaxies strung together across the void. It is the cosmic landscape in which our Milky Way drifts, a continent of galaxies, a super ocean of stars. Picture yourself floating within it. You pass spirals and ellipses, great glowing spheres and faint smudges of light. Each galaxy drifts along the currents of gravity, like leaves carried by a river. And all of those currents flow toward a single mysterious region, a place astronomers call the Great Attractor. No one fully understands it, but its pull is strong enough to guide the motion of thousands of galaxies, including our own. Laniakea is vast beyond imagination, and yet, even here, there is calm. The galaxies move slowly, gently, over billions of years. No rush, no hurry, just endless drifting. As you listen now, let yourself feel that same calm. You too are part of a larger structure. You too are carried by invisible currents. And just like Laniakea, your journey unfolds slowly, beautifully, across time. Close your eyes. Imagine the Milky Way, filled with billions of stars, each one shining gently. But scattered among them are darker things, silent, invisible, powerful. Across our galaxy exist black holes of every size. Some are small, only a few times the mass of our Sunday. Others are enormous, millions of times heavier, like Sagittarius A*, the great giant at the center. And between these extremes, countless black holes drift quietly through the galaxy. A black hole does not announce itself with light. It cannot be seen directly, but you can feel its presence in the way stars move, in the way matter bends, in the way space itself curves around it. Imagine one of the smaller ones, a stellar black hole. the remnant of a star that collapsed long ago. It drifts alone, invisible, its gravity pulling softly at anything that strays too close. Perhaps a wandering gas cloud falls into it. Perhaps a lonely star brushes by, its outer layers stripped away, glowing briefly before vanishing. The black hole waits patiently. It has all the time in the universe. Now, picture something larger, an intermediate black hole, thousands of times the mass of the Sunday. Hidden in star clusters, these rare giants may hold groups of stars together with their pull. They are like quiet anchors, unseen yet essential. And then imagine the greatest of all supermassive black holes, millions or billions of solar masses. At the center of galaxies, they feed on gas and dust, sometimes glowing so brightly that they outshine all the stars around them. We call them quasars when they blaze with this furious energy, beacons across the universe. From the smallest to the largest, black holes remind us of scale. They remind us that the universe holds both the faintest whispers and the loudest roars of creation. And they remind us, too, of balance. For every shining star, there is a shadow. For every beginning, an end. Breathe slowly now, in and out. As you do, picture yourself floating past these invisible giants. You cannot see them, but you know they are there, dark, silent, waiting. And instead of fear, let that thought bring peace. For in the stillness of black holes, the universe keeps its quiet secrets. Now imagine drifting away from the shining stars, away from the warmth of suns into the deeper dark of the galaxy. Here, you may encounter something strange, something rare, a rogue planet. A rogue planet is a world without a star. It does not circle a Sunday. It does not shine. It wanders the galaxy alone, drifting endlessly through the night. Some were cast out of their systems by the gravity of larger worlds. Others may have formed in the darkness itself, never knowing the warmth of a star. They are orphans of the galaxy, lost, wandering, eternal. Picture one of these planets as you float by. Its surface is frozen, oceans sealed beneath miles of ice. But perhaps deep inside, warmth remains heat from its core, trapped beneath the cold. And maybe, in hidden oceans, life flickers quietly, unknown to the stars. Other rogue planets may carry thick, heavy atmospheres. They glow faintly with their own heat, invisible to the eye, but alive in the infrared. From a distance, they look like shadows. Up close, they are worlds as real as Earth, waiting in the dark. Astronomers believe there may be more rogue planets than stars in the Milky Way. Billions of them scattered across the galaxy, each with its own story. Some small and rocky, others massive, gas giants adrift in eternal night. Now imagine traveling across the galaxy and stumbling upon one of these lonely worlds. You would not see it at first, only the blackness of space. But as you drew near, its shape would appear, a silent sphere floating alone. No sunrise, no sunset, no seasons, only night forever. And yet, even here, beauty exists. Auroras may ripple across its skies, fueled by magnetic fields. Moons may still orbit, circling faithfully around their dark parent. And beneath the surface, warmth and motion may stir. As you breathe slowly, think of these wandering planets, not as lost, but as free. Not tied to a star, not bound to an orbit. They drift wherever gravity takes them, and in their drifting, they remind us of another truth, that sometimes the journey itself is the home. Close your eyes. Picture two galaxies drifting through the darkness. At first, they seem far apart, like ships on a silent ocean. But slowly, across millions of years, they draw closer. When they meet, it is not an explosion of chaos. Instead, it is a dance. The stars of one galaxy sweep past the stars of another. They almost never collide directly, for the spaces between them are vast. But their gravity weaves them together, bending their paths, stretching their arms into bridges of light. Imagine watching such a collision from a safe distance. You would see spirals twist, stretch, and merge. You would see bursts of starlight as new suns ignite from clouds of compressed gas. It would be like fireworks, but stretched over millions of years. Galactic collisions are not rare. They have shaped the universe from the beginning. Our own Milky Way has already merged with smaller galaxies, absorbing their stars into its halo. Even now, streams of starlight remnants of ancient collisions arc across our sky. And in the future, we too will merge with Andromeda. A collision, yes, but also a creation, the birth of something new, greater, more luminous. As you breathe in and out, slowly, imagine this cosmic waltz. Two galaxies embracing, not in violence, but in harmony. Their stars glide past each other like dancers in a ballroom, moving to a rhythm only gravity can hear. And let that thought soothe you, that even when paths cross, even when worlds collide, the universe finds balance. From every ending, a beginning. From every meeting, a new shape of beauty. Now imagine zooming back in. The Milky Way, Andromeda, and a few dozen smaller galaxies form a family, the local group. Picture it as a small cluster of glowing islands floating together in the dark. The two giants, Milky Way and Andromeda, are like elder siblings, vast and luminous. Around them circle smaller companions, the Triangulum Galaxy, the Magellanic Clouds, and many faint dwarfs, fragile and quiet. From afar, the local group seems tiny compared to the universe. But for us, it is home. It is our neighborhood in the cosmic city. Imagine drifting through it. First past the Milky Way, a spiral glowing like a pearl. Then toward Andromeda, a shining whirlpool of light. Farther still, you see the faint smudge of Triangulum, smaller but graceful. Around them, the dwarfs' little sparks, each with its own stars, its own stories. The local group moves as one, carried along by the currents of gravity. Though its galaxies are separated by millions of light years, they are bound together like beads on an invisible string. As you breathe, think of this family of galaxies, not scattered, but connected. Not alone, but together. Each different, yet all drifting in the same direction, through the same vast ocean of space. The local group is a reminder that even in the infinite universe, there is belonging. Even in the silence of the cosmos, there is companionship. And tonight, as you rest, let that thought keep you company too. You are not alone. You are part of a family, part of a cluster, part of a group carried gently, endlessly, through the immeasurable heavens. Imagine floating high above the universe, far enough to see not just one galaxy, not just a cluster, but entire regions of space moving together. The Milky Way and Andromeda, along with the many smaller galaxies of the local group, are not wandering aimlessly. They belong to a greater body, a structure so vast that words can hardly contain it, the Virgo supercluster. This immense gathering of galaxies stretches across tens of millions of light years. Picture it as a continent in the cosmic ocean, where each galaxy is a shining city, glowing softly in the night. The Milky Way is one of those cities. Andromeda is another. Beyond them, thousands more, each with billions of suns. Now imagine drifting slowly through this land of light. You pass spirals, their arms glowing like luminous seashells. You pass elliptical galaxies, smooth and bright, like glowing pearls. You pass dwarfs, faint but steady, each one a lantern against the dark. Though separated by enormous distances, these galaxies move together. They are bound by gravity into a single majestic flow. It is as if the entire Virgo supercluster were a great river of stars streaming through the endless night. As you breathe in and out, imagine this scale. Not a world, not a galaxy, but thousands of galaxies moving as one, carried along like a constellation of islands in a cosmic sea. And let the thought calm you, because even at the largest scales, the universe finds order. Even among billions of stars, there is connection. You are part of that flow. You are drifting too, gently, endlessly, across the immeasurable ocean of the Virgo supercluster. Now, let us drift farther still. Beyond the Virgo supercluster lies something even greater, a structure so vast that its name speaks of the immeasurable, Laniakea, meaning immense heaven. Laniakea is a supercluster of superclusters, a colossal web of galaxies stretching across 500 million light-years. Within it are more than 100,000 galaxies, each one holding billions of stars. It is a cosmic continent, a river of light flowing through the dark. Imagine standing at the edge of this river. You look across, and all you see are galaxies, spirals, ellipticals, irregular clouds of stars. They are connected by invisible threads of gravity, bound together into one vast whole. Though they may seem scattered, they are not. They are part of the same flow, moving together toward a mysterious point known as the Great Attractor. Picture yourself floating within Laniakea. Galaxies drift past like lanterns on a black sea. Some shine brightly, blazing with new stars. Others are dim, ancient, their light fading into silence. But together they form a tapestry, a glowing web stretching farther than your mind can hold. And yet, even here, in the vastest of structures, there is peace. The galaxies move slowly, gracefully, as if carried by a current too wide to see. No rush, no hurry, only the quiet, endless drift of time. As you listen now, let that image sink in. A river of galaxies, hundreds of thousands of them, flowing together across 500 million light-years. And within that river, a single small spiral, the Milky Way. Within that spiral, a single star, the Sunday. Around that star, a single planet, Earth. And on that planet, you listening, breathing, part of it all. Breathe deeply, and let this truth comfort you, that no matter how vast the universe, you belong within it. Not apart, but within. A thread in the web, a drop in the river, a spark in the immense heaven of Laniakea. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Now, try to imagine the number 2 trillion. 2 trillion galaxies fill the observable universe. Not stars, not planets, galaxies. Each one contains billions of stars. Each star may hold planets. Each planet may have moons, oceans, skies. Each one a world. Each one a possibility. Picture yourself drifting upward, higher and higher, until the Milky Way looks small, like a glowing whirlpool below you. Now you see Andromeda, shining beside it. Then the local group, the Virgo supercluster, the Laniakea supercluster. And still you rise. The universe spreads out in every direction. Everywhere you look, there are galaxies, whirls of light, great ovals of stars, irregular clouds of brightness. They are scattered like jewels across a black velvet sky. Some are clustered together, like pearls strung on a thread. Others drift alone, silent and solitary. 2 trillion. The number is too large for the mind to hold. So instead, think of this. When you look up at the night sky and see a handful of stars, know that beyond them lie oceans of galaxies. So many that if you counted one galaxy every second, it would take you more than 60,000 years to count them all. And yet, despite this immensity, the universe feels calm. It does not rush. It does not compete. It's simply island, a great expanse of light and darkness, unfolding gently, endlessly. Breathe in, breathe out. You are part of this immensity. A single listener, on a single world, inside a single galaxy. But still, part of the whole, part of 2 trillion galaxies, stitched together into the fabric of the cosmos. Now imagine choosing just one galaxy out of the 2 trillion. It could be the Milky Way. It could be Andromeda, or a distant spiral, so far away its light has traveled for billions of years to reach us. Inside that single galaxy are hundreds of billions of stars, and around those stars, billions of planets. Each galaxy is not just a glowing swirl of light. It is a collection of solar systems, families of stars and worlds bound together by gravity. Picture walking through such a galaxy. Everywhere you turn, a star. Everywhere you turn, the chance of a planet. Some stars burn blue and hot, with planets baked in eternal light. Others glow faint and red, with worlds in twilight, dim but steady. Some planets are rocky and dry. Others are covered in seas, stretching farther than any ocean on Earth. Some may be empty. Some may be alive. Think of it. For every galaxy, billions of chances for oceans, mountains, skies, clouds. Billions of chances for life, for voices, for dreams, for civilizations. Now multiply that by 2 trillion galaxies. The number becomes beyond imagining. A universe filled with endless possibility. And yet, as overwhelming as it seems, it is also calming, because it means we are not isolated. We are not alone in an empty night. We are surrounded always by possibility. As you breathe slowly, let this image carry you. Billions of stars, billions of planets in every galaxy, each one a light, each one a chance. The universe is not silent. It is filled with whispers waiting to be heard. Imagine the Milky Way, a vast spiral of stars glowing softly in the night. What we see is light stars, clusters, nebulae. But there is something else, something invisible, woven through the galaxy like threads in a tapestry, the magnetic field. This magnetic field stretches for thousands of light years, a great invisible net surrounding the stars, the planets, the gas, and dust. It cannot be seen with the eyes. It does not shine like starlight, but it shapes the way charged particles move, guiding cosmic rays, bending flows of gas, whispering across the galaxy in silence. Picture it like the Earth's magnetic field, which shields us from the sun's radiation, only far greater, far grander. The Milky Way's field is faint, delicate, yet it extends across unimaginable distances. It is like a spider's web spun across the stars, fragile but immense. Now, imagine drifting through it. You cannot see the lines of force, but you can feel them. They flow around you like soft currents, like the invisible pull of a tide. They guide dust, shape clouds, even influence the birth of stars. As you breathe, imagine this quiet structure surrounding the galaxy. A hidden framework, steady and unseen, keeping balance in ways we are only beginning to understand. The magnetic field is not loud. It does not roar or blaze. It is a whisper, a gentle hand, shaping without being noticed. Let that image calm you. The galaxy, vast and bright, held gently in the embrace of something invisible. Just as you, in this moment, are held by the quiet of night, the rhythm of your breath, the stillness of rest. When we look at the Milky Way with our eyes, we see a river of stars stretching across the night. But our eyes capture only a small part of the story. The galaxy shines not just in visible light, but in many forms of radiation: radio waves, infrared, ultraviolet, X-rays. Each wavelength reveals a different face of the Milky Way. In radio, we see great clouds of hydrogen gas, the raw material of stars. In infrared, we glimpse newborn stars, still hidden within their dusty cradles. In ultraviolet, we see the hottest, brightest stars blazing fiercely. In X-rays, we see violent regions where black holes feed and neutron stars collide. Imagine peeling back the layers of the galaxy, one by one. First, the soft glow of visible light, then the warmer hues of infrared, then the sharp brilliance of ultraviolet. Each layer reveals something hidden, something new. It is as though the galaxy were a song played in many octaves, and our eyes can hear only one. But with our instruments, we hear the full symphony. Now picture drifting through the galaxy, tuning your senses to each wavelength. You see nebulae glowing in infrared, like embers in the dark. You hear the hum of radio waves stretched across light years. You feel the sharp flash of X-rays near black holes, powerful but distant. The Milky Way is more than light. It is a spectrum, a harmony of signals, each telling its own story. As you breathe slowly, let that idea soothe you, that what we see is never the whole picture. That beneath the surface, there are always hidden layers of beauty, waiting quietly to be revealed. Take a slow breath. Now imagine the Milky Way vast, ancient, and serene. To the eye, it seems still. To the heart, it feels quiet. But in truth, the galaxy is alive with motion, energy, and invisible travelers, cosmic rays. Cosmic rays are high-energy particles, born in violent places. They may come from the heart of a supernova, the aftermath of a star's final breath. They may come from the jets of a black hole, streaming across space, or from far beyond our galaxy, carrying with them the memory of distant worlds. These particles race through space at nearly the speed of light. They cross the Milky Way endlessly, weaving invisible paths between the stars. Some pass through planets, through atmospheres, through us silent visitors from across the cosmos. And yet, though they come from violent beginnings, here they feel gentle. They are so small, so subtle, that most pass unnoticed. We live in a quiet rain of particles, falling endlessly, carrying with them whispers of the galaxy's history. Picture yourself drifting through this storm of invisible light. Not dangerous, not loud, but soft, a constant flow, like fine mist across the sea. It connects every corner of the galaxy, every star, every planet, every cluster. Cosmic rays remind us that nothing in the universe is isolated. Even across millions of light years, energy finds its way. A particle born in the explosion of a distant star may one day touch the Earth, carrying with it the memory of fire. As you breathe slowly, think of this silent connection, that even now, as you rest, the galaxy is touching you, not with sound, not with light, but with quiet threads of energy drifting endlessly across the stars. Now lift your gaze to the outer halo of the Milky Way. Here, surrounding the spiral arms, are ancient gatherings of stars, known as globular clusters. Each cluster holds hundreds of thousands of stars, packed tightly into a glowing sphere. From afar, they shine like pearls against the night. They orbit the galaxy slowly, like lanterns circling a vast city. Imagine them as swarms of fireflies, gathered together, drifting in harmony. Each cluster has existed for billions of years, longer than the spiral arms themselves. They are among the oldest structures in the galaxy, fossils of light, carrying the memory of the universe's youth. Picture yourself floating near one. You see a dense sphere of stars, so tightly packed that if you lived there, the night sky would blaze with hundreds of suns. Everywhere you looked, light. No true darkness, only the glow of countless neighbors. And yet, from Earth, they are faint, delicate smudges on the sky. Only through telescopes do they reveal their true majesty, shining balls of ancient fire. Globular clusters orbit far above and below the galactic plane, quiet companions of the Milky Way. Like bees around a hive, they move slowly, patiently, never straying far. Together, they form a crown around the galaxy, a silent halo of stars. As you breathe in and out, imagine this crown of light surrounding your galactic home. A reminder that even in the outskirts, beauty endures. Even in the quietest corners, there is light. Take a slow, calming breath. Now picture a globular cluster, a glowing sphere, filled with hundreds of thousands of stars. These clusters orbit quietly around the Milky Way, like ancient companions. But their true wonder lies in their age. Many of the stars inside them are older than the galaxy itself. They were born when the universe was still young, only a few 100 million years after the Big Bang. They are survivors, living embers from the dawn of time. Imagine floating near one of these stars. It burns faintly, steadily, not with the youthful brightness of new suns, but with the quiet endurance of age. It has been shining for billions upon billions of years, watching as galaxies formed, as clusters grew, as the Milky Way itself took shape. These ancient stars are like storytellers. Each one holds in its light the record of the early universe. Astronomers study them to learn what the cosmos was like before Earth existed, before the sun was born, before life began. Now picture yourself drifting inside a globular cluster. The sky around you is crowded, filled with thousands of suns, so close that the night never truly falls. It is not a sky of blackness and isolation, but one of golden fire, endless stars, stretching in every direction. And yet, within that brilliance, there is peace. The stars do not rush. They burn slowly, patiently, as they have for billions of years. Time itself feels different here, stretched and gentle. As you breathe in, imagine inhaling that patience. As you breathe out, let yourself settle into the calm of ages. The stars remind us there is no hurry. The universe endures, and so can you. Now let us drift from science into imagination. For the galaxy is not only a place of stars and physics. It is also a canvas for our stories. In Star Wars, every tale of heroes and villains, every battle among the stars, happens within a single galaxy. Not billions of galaxies, not the endless universe, just one. And yet, that single galaxy feels infinite. It holds deserts like Tatooine, forests like Endor, oceans like Camino, worlds that seem alien, yet strangely familiar. Civilizations rise and fall, empires are born and crumble, all within the borders of a single galactic home. Picture it as you drift. A galaxy not unlike the Milky Way, filled with countless systems, each one a stage for new adventures. The force flows through it, binding every star, every planet, every life form. Science fades, and myth takes its place. And what is striking is this: even imagined, a galaxy feels enough. It does not need the whole universe to tell stories. One galaxy already holds endless room for dreams. As you breathe, let that thought settle. That the galaxy we live in is no less vast, no less filled with possibility. That just like in stories, our own Milky Way could be home to wonders beyond counting. Whether in science or in fiction, a galaxy is not just a cluster of stars. It is a world of imagination, a map of mysteries, a mirror of our hopes. And tonight, as you rest, you drift not only through the Milky Way, but also through the galaxies of dreamers, storytellers, and visionaries, places where the line between reality and fantasy blurs like starlight. Take a gentle breath. Now imagine our galaxy, the Milky Way, not as a silent spiral of stars, but as a vast stage of exploration and discovery. This is the vision of Star Trek. In that universe, the Milky Way is home to the United Federation of Planets, a union of worlds spread across thousands of light years. It is not an empire built on fear, but a federation built on cooperation, knowledge, and hope. Picture the starships gliding quietly through the void. The warp drive bends space itself, carrying explorers from one star to another in moments. They pass through nebulae, glowing like clouds of color. They orbit strange suns, red and blue and white. They set foot on alien worlds, where skies glow green, or oceans stretch endlessly. And through it all, there is a sense of peace. Yes, there are conflicts and dangers. But at its heart, Star Trek is a dream of a galaxy where differences do not divide, but enrich, where countless civilizations share the Milky Way like neighbors in a grand, endless city. As you breathe, think of that vision, that within our own galaxy, there may be worlds circling quiet stars, worlds with oceans, mountains, and skies as real as ours. And maybe, one day, we too will visit them not in conquest, but in curiosity, in friendship. The Milky Way is already vast enough for endless exploration. And in the stories of Star Trek, it becomes a home for unity, for wonder, for peace. So as you drift towards sleep, let yourself travel with them, through the Orion Arm, across the galactic core, into the unknown. A gentle journey, fueled not by fear, but by hope. Now, let us drift into another dream. One where the galaxy is not a map of stars, but a stage for politics, destiny, and survival. This is the galaxy of Dune. In this vision, countless planets are linked by trade and power. But everything depends on a single resource, the spice melange. Without spice, starships cannot navigate the galaxy. Without spice, civilizations crumble. And so, the fate of trillions rests upon the sands of a single desert world, Arrakis. Picture it. A planet of endless dunes, golden waves of sand stretching farther than oceans. Twin moons hang above the horizon, while massive sandworms move beneath the surface, guardians of the spice. The desert is harsh, unforgiving, yet alive with rhythm. The people who live there adapt, surviving with skill, with patience, with respect for the land. Though Dune is fiction, its ideas echo truths of our own universe, that entire civilizations can depend on fragile resources, that survival often requires harmony with the environment, that even in a galaxy filled with worlds, one small planet can shape the destiny of all. As you breathe slowly, imagine walking across those dunes, under a starlit sky. The sand is cool, the air still. Above you, the Milky Way arches across the heavens, the same galaxy we know yet imagined, as filled with empires, intrigue, and endless stories. And let that image soothe you. Because whether in reality or in fiction, a galaxy is more than stars. It is a place where dreams, fears, and hopes unfold across deserts, oceans, and endless skies. Take a deep, slow breath. Now imagine the Milky Way, not as we see it today, but as the stage for a grand civilization. In Isaac Asimov's Foundation series, the entire galaxy is ruled by a vast galactic empire. Trillions of people live across thousands of worlds. Cities rise on alien planets, starships cross between suns, and history unfolds not on one world, but across millions. It is a vision of greatness and of fragility. For even empires that span galaxies can fall. In Asimov's tale, the galactic empire begins to crumble. The stars are too many, the systems too far, the burden too great. And as it collapses, chaos spreads. But within that chaos, hope remains. A small group, the Foundation, works quietly, patiently, to preserve knowledge, to shorten the dark age to come. It is a story of resilience, of foresight, of the belief that even in decline, light can be saved. Picture yourself drifting across such a galaxy. You see great cities shining from orbit, endless skylines stretching beneath alien suns. You see vast fleets of ships moving like fireflies through the dark. And then, slowly, you see silent worlds abandoned, stars forgotten, echoes fading. And yet, the galaxy endures. New stories are born. New civilizations rise. The spiral continues, as it has for billions of years. As you breathe gently, let that thought settle, that even when things seem to fall apart, seeds of renewal remain. That even galaxies, imagined or real, remind us of cycles of growth, decline, and rebirth. Now, let us return to our own galaxy. The Milky Way is not only the home of stars and planets. It is also the natural stage for our imagination. From the earliest days of science fiction, storytellers have looked to the Milky Way as the backdrop for adventure. Why? Because it feels vast enough to hold every dream, every mystery, every journey. In countless tales, humans sail among the stars, exploring new worlds, meeting new civilizations. Sometimes they find friends. Sometimes they find challenges. But always, the galaxy is there wide, endless, waiting. Picture yourself traveling through it. You stop by a blue star, orbiting planets with oceans glittering below. Then a red sun, dim and quiet, with rocky worlds bathed in twilight. Then, far away, a cluster of stars, each with its own system, its own stories. Everywhere you go, the galaxy feels alive. Not just with science, but with possibility. When writers choose the Milky Way as their stage, they remind us that our own galaxy is already extraordinary. We do not need to invent something larger. The spiral of stars above us is already vast enough for endless stories. As you breathe slowly, let yourself drift through that thought. That within the arms of the Milky Way, there are billions of suns, billions of chances, billions of journeys waiting to be imagined. The galaxy is not just a map of stars. It is a canvas for dreams, yours, mine, and all who look up at the night sky. Take a long, deep breath. Now imagine civilizations far more advanced than our own. On Earth, we are only beginning to harness the power of our planet. But in science and science fiction, thinkers dream of civilizations ranked by the Kardashev scale. A Type 1 civilization can use all the energy of its planet. A Type 2 civilization can capture the full power of its star. And a Type 3 civilization, the most extraordinary, can control the energy of its entire galaxy. Picture that. A people so advanced, they build structures the size of solar systems. They surround stars with Dyson spheres, capturing every ray of light. They weave networks between billions of suns, using black holes as engines, nebulae as fuel. To them, the Milky Way is not a distant mystery, but a home fully illuminated, fully understood. Now imagine drifting through such a galaxy. You see stars glowing, but around them are immense shells, radiant and alive with technology. You see entire arms of the spiral glittering, reshaped by minds older and wiser than ours. Perhaps you even see the galaxy itself pulsing with rhythm, as if civilization has become part of its very heartbeat. This is imagination, of course. But it is a dream that stretches our minds, reminding us of what could be. Perhaps one day, millions of years from now, we too will rise to such a scale. Or perhaps others, far away, already have. As you breathe in and out, think of this, that the galaxy is vast enough to hold civilizations beyond imagining. That the Milky Way is not only stars and dust, but also a canvas for possibility. And in the calm of tonight, let yourself rest in that possibility, a dream of futures uncounted, drifting quietly across the stars, Now let us drift into another dream. The galaxy is vast. So vast that even at the speed of light, it would take 100,000 years to cross. And yet, in stories, travelers move between stars in moments. How? Through imagination? Writers dream of hyperspace, another dimension layered beneath our own, where distances collapse. Starships slip into it, vanishing from the normal universe, reappearing light years away. Others imagine warp drives, bending space itself, pulling destinations closer, stretching reality like fabric. Still others picture wormholes, tunnels through space-time, shortcuts from one star to another, like hidden bridges in the night. Picture yourself aboard such a vessel. You drift near a star, glowing warm and golden. Then, with a hum, the ship slips into hyperspace. The stars stretch into lines of light, then vanish. You float in a sea of colors, shifting, shimmering, timeless. Moments later, you emerge. A new star burns before you. A new world waits below. Though these ideas are fiction, they awaken wonder. They remind us that the limits of today may not be the limits of tomorrow. That the galaxy, so wide and overwhelming, may still be reachable, step by step, dream by dream. As you breathe slowly, let this thought calm you. That distance is not a barrier. That imagination itself can carry you across the stars. Tonight, as you rest, you too can travel faster than light, not with engines, but with dreams. Take a deep, slow breath. Now picture the Milky Way not as a flat spiral, but as a living being with a heart at its center. That heart is the galactic core. The center of our galaxy lies hidden behind clouds of dust and gas. To our eyes, it seems veiled. But with radio and infrared telescopes, we glimpse its secrets. A region dense with stars, glowing clusters, clouds colliding, and at its very center, a supermassive black hole. This place is crowded. Stars here are packed closer than anywhere else in the galaxy. Some orbit Sagittarius A times at incredible speeds, completing a full circle in just a few years. Imagine that stars moving like comets, circling a silent giant. Now picture drifting there. You see the sky ablaze with light, thousands of suns brighter than any we know. Nebulae glow like curtains of fire. Gas swirls around invisible gravity wells. The air of space hums with energy, as if the galaxy's pulse beats strongest here. And yet, within all this intensity, there is stillness too. The black hole waits, quiet, patient, timeless. It does not rage. It simply pulls, holding the core together, shaping the flow of stars. As you breathe in, imagine drawing close to this heart of energy. As you breathe out, let its patience wash over you. For the galaxy's center is not only a place of mystery, but also of balance. A reminder that even in chaos, harmony can be found. Now let us focus on the giant itself. At the very center of the Milky Way lies Sagittarius A*, a black hole of unimaginable weight. It is not the largest in the universe, but it is ours. It belongs to our galaxy. Sagittarius A times has the mass of 4 million suns. Imagine gathering every ray of light, every ounce of gravity from 4 million stars, and folding it into a single point. That is the power resting silently at our galaxy's heart. And yet, it does not consume the Milky Way. It is not a monster raging in the dark. Instead, it is an anchor. Its gravity holds the inner stars in orbit, keeping the galactic core bound together. Astronomers cannot see Sagittarius A times directly, but they watch the stars that circle it. They see them swing around an invisible center, moving so fast that only a black hole could explain it. Through their dance, the hidden giant reveals itself. Now imagine drifting near it. From a distance, you see nothing, only darkness where light vanishes. But around it, a glow. Dust and gas spiraling inward, heating, shining one last time before falling past the horizon. The event horizon, the boundary where time and space collapse, glimmers like a veil. As you breathe slowly, think of this paradox: that something so powerful, so immense, can also be silent. That at the heart of our galaxy, a black hole waits not as destruction, but as balance. A patient presence, a reminder of gravity's quiet strength. And tonight, as you rest, let Sagittarius A times be your anchor. A steady pull, holding you gently, reminding you that even in the vastness, you belong to the heart of something greater. Take a deep, calming breath. Now picture the very center of the Milky Way, glowing with the light of millions of stars. It is not a single kind of light. It is a mixture, a chorus of the very young and the very old, singing together across the ages. Some of the stars here are ancient. They were born billions of years ago, when the galaxy itself was young. They burn dimly now, steady, patient, like elders who have seen everything. Others are newly born. They shine hot and blue, fierce and bright, the children of the galaxy, fresh from the cradles of gas and dust. Together they fill the galactic core, old stars, new stars, all circling the invisible pull of Sagittarius A*. It is a place of contrast, endings and beginnings, side by side. Now imagine drifting among them. On one side, you see a cluster of red giants, glowing softly, their light warm and steady. On the other side, you see massive blue stars blazing with energy, short-lived, but powerful. The airless void between them feels alive with change. The core is like a city that never sleeps. Some windows glow with ancient lanterns, others blaze with the light of new fires. Time does not erase the old, nor stop the new. Instead, it lets them exist together, layer upon layer, like voices in harmony. As you breathe in, imagine inhaling the patience of the old stars. As you breathe out, imagine releasing the energy of the new. Balance between endurance and creation, between memory and promise. The galaxy's heart is not only a place of mystery, it is also a reminder that age and youth, past and future, always share the same space. Now, let us drift deeper into the heart of the galaxy. Beyond the shining clusters of stars, you find vast clouds of gas and dust. They are the hidden reservoirs, the raw material of creation. These giant molecular clouds stretch across light years. They are cold, dark, and silent. And yet, within them, stars are being born. Gravity gathers the gas, pulling it inward. Slowly, gently, the cloud condenses, until at its heart, a spark ignites. A new star is born. One more light added to the endless city of the core. Picture one of these clouds. From outside, it looks like a shadow, blocking the starlight behind it. But inside, it is alive with hidden embers, stars so young they cannot yet pierce the dust. In time, they will burst forth, their light scattering the cloud, their energy giving birth to nebulae that glow in every color. Now imagine floating through such a cloud. The dust is thick, the stars around you dimmed, as though you were drifting through fog. But faintly, ahead, you see a glow. A nursery, a cluster of newborn stars. They shine gently, like candles behind curtains, their light soft and warm. As you breathe slowly, think of these hidden cradles, that even in darkness, creation continues, that even in silence, new beginnings stir. The galaxy's core is not only a place of endings, of black holes and ancient stars. It is also a nursery, where the future is quietly being born. And tonight, as you rest, let that image guide you, that every darkness holds seeds of light, that every quiet moment carries the promise of something new. Take a deep breath and imagine the Milky Way from above. You see the long spiral arms stretching outward, glowing like rivers of starlight. But at the center, where all the arms converge, there is a swollen glow, the galactic bulge. The bulge is dense, crowded with stars. It is spherical, a golden ball of light that rises out of the flat spiral. From afar, it looks calm, but within, it is alive, with motion stars moving in every direction, like bees in a hive. These stars are ancient. Most were born when the galaxy itself was young, billions of years ago. Their light is softer, their colors redder, their lives longer. They carry the memory of the Milky Way's first breaths. Now, picture yourself drifting into the bulge. The night sky becomes dazzling, packed with stars so close together that the darkness between them nearly vanishes. It feels like floating inside a golden lantern, glowing on every side. There is a quiet strength here. The bulge has endured for billions of years. It is a witness to collisions, to the birth of spiral arms, to the slow growth of the galaxy. It is the elder heart of the Milky Way. As you breathe in, imagine inhaling that endurance. As you breathe out, imagine releasing all hurry, all rush. The bulge reminds us, there is no need to move quickly. Time itself is patient. The stars will endure, and so can you. Now shift your gaze from the golden bulge to the long, delicate arms of the Milky Way. These are the spiral arms, graceful curves that wind outward like ribbons of light. The arms are not solid. They are waves regions where gas and dust are compressed, where gravity gathers the raw material of creation. And in these regions, new stars are born. Imagine drifting along an arm. Around you are glowing nebulae, great clouds of gas lit from within by newborn stars. Some glow pink where hydrogen shines. Others are dark, hiding stars still in the womb. Clusters sparkle like jewels, groups of young suns huddled together, just beginning their lives. Massive blue stars blaze brightly, short-lived but beautiful, marking the spiral arms with their brilliance. These arms are like gardens, always blooming, always renewing. Old stars move through and out, while new ones take their place. The galaxy breathes here, inhaling dust, exhaling light. Now picture yourself floating between two arms. The space is quieter, darker, but then you drift back into an arm, and once more, light surrounds you. It is like walking through fields of fireflies, sometimes in darkness, sometimes in glowing streams. As you breathe slowly, think of these arms not as distant spirals, but as living waves, always moving, always creating, always reminding us that life, too, is renewal. Tonight, as you rest, let yourself feel like a star in one of these arms, young, glowing, part of a greater pattern, a spiral of beauty stretching across the night. Take a slow, gentle breath. Now picture the Milky Way from above, a graceful spiral, like a great pinwheel turning silently in the dark. Its beauty lies in its structure, at least 4 main arms winding outward from the center. There is the Perseus arm, stretching long and elegant across the outer regions. The Norma arm, tucked closer to the core. The Scutum Centaurus arm, sweeping wide, like a river of stars. And the Sagittarius arm, where our own sun and earth are found. Each arm is not solid, but a wave, like ripples in a pond. Gas, dust, and stars gather along these ripples, forming glowing lanes of light. The arms are the pathways of creation, where stars are born, where clusters gather, where nebulae bloom. Now imagine yourself drifting above the galaxy, looking down upon these arms. They stretch like glowing ribbons, curling outward in slow, graceful arcs. Each one is alive with billions of stars, like countless lanterns strung along a cosmic road. You float gently along the Sagittarius arm, your home. You see Orion's belt, the Pleiades, the faint glow of the sun, just one star among billions. And as you drift farther, you realize that each arm holds endless stories, entire regions, each as rich as our own. As you breathe in, imagine inhaling the light of the arms. As you breathe out, imagine releasing any weight, any worry. The spiral is steady, the arms endure, and you too are carried along their path, a quiet traveler in a galaxy of flowing light. Now let us focus more closely. The sun, our star, does not lie in a main arm of the Milky Way. Instead, it rests within a smaller branch, a quiet lane between giants. This lane is called the Orion Arm, or sometimes the Orion Spur. The Orion Arm is like a side street between two great highways, the Sagittarius Arm and the Perseus Arm. It is not the grandest, not the brightest, but it is home. Here lies the sun, the earth, and everything we know. Imagine drifting through this spur. It is a quieter region, with fewer giant stars than the main arms, but no less beautiful. Clusters like the Pleiades sparkle here. Nebulae like Orion's glow softly, cradles of new stars, and among them, a small yellow star shines the Sunday. If you were far away, looking back at the galaxy, the Orion Arm might seem insignificant, just a thread among many. And yet, within it lies us. Within it lies every story we have ever told, every dream we have ever had. Now picture yourself floating gently along this spur. On one side, you glimpse the grandeur of the Sagittarius Arm, blazing with clusters and nebulae. On the other, the Perseus Arm stretches outward, quiet and distant. And in between, your quiet lane, carrying you steadily around the galaxy. As you breathe, let this thought soothe you, that even in the small places, beauty thrives. That even a side path, a quiet branch, can hold endless wonder. The Orion Arm is not the brightest, but it is enough. It is home. Take a deep, calm breath. Now imagine the Milky Way not as a still painting, but as a great wheel turning slowly in space. The entire galaxy, its stars, its gas, its arms, its clusters, is in motion. It spins. One full rotation every 225 million years. A span so long that in the time it takes to complete one circle, Earth has changed beyond recognition. The last time the sun was in this position, dinosaurs walked our planet, and by the time it completes another turn, Earth will be utterly transformed again. Picture the galaxy as a great clock, ticking not in seconds or minutes, but in eons. Each tick is 1,000,000 years. Each turn, the slow heartbeat of the cosmos. Now imagine drifting far above, watching the spiral rotate. The arms curve gracefully, sweeping like the hands of a cosmic clock. It is not hurried. It is not rushed. It turns in silence, as it has for billions of years. The sun, our star, rides along this rotation, carrying Earth with it. We circle the galactic center, passengers on a voyage we cannot feel, moving at hundreds of kilometers per second, yet surrounded by calm. As you breathe in, imagine the galaxy turning with you. As you breathe out, release the sense of time rushing by. For here, time is vast. One rotation takes longer than all of human history, and yet it continues, steady and serene. The Milky Way spins, not quickly, not slowly, but perfectly. Its rhythm is eternal, and tonight, you too can rest within that rhythm, carried on the wheel of stars. Now let us focus more closely on our own star. The sun does not sit still. It is always in motion, orbiting the heart of the Milky Way. At this very moment, the sun is moving at 828,000 kilometers per hour, faster than we can imagine. faster than any spacecraft could ever hope to travel. And yet, we do not feel it. The Earth, the Moon, the planets all are carried along together, drifting smoothly through the galaxy. Picture the Sun as a golden lantern, gliding on an invisible track. Around it, planets orbit like companions, tiny sparks following their parent flame. Together, the whole solar system sails through the galactic sea. Imagine standing on Earth, looking up at the night sky. The stars seem still, the constellations seem eternal. And yet, everything is moving: the Sun racing around the center, the galaxy itself spinning, the universe expanding outward. Motion everywhere, and stillness here. It is a paradox, but a peaceful one. As you breathe, picture yourself on this journey. You are a passenger aboard the solar system, flying around the galaxy at unimaginable speed. But the ride is gentle. The motion is smooth. There is no turbulence, no rush, only the calm, endless voyage of a star around its home. The Sun's orbit will take more than 200 million years to complete. We are at the beginning of one lap, in the middle of another, somewhere on an endless path. And through it all, we are steady. As you drift towards sleep, let this truth comfort you, that you are moving always across the stars. That even as you rest, you are part of a grand journey, circling the heart of the Milky Way in silence. Take a deep breath. Now imagine the journey of the Sun, circling the heart of the Milky Way like a silent traveler. The Sun is 4.6 billion years old, and in all that time, it has already completed about 20 full orbits around the galactic center. 20 laps around the spiral, each one lasting more than 200 million years. Picture this voyage. When the Sun began its first orbit, Earth did not yet exist. The planets were only clouds of dust, gathering slowly into form. By the 5th orbit, the dinosaurs walked the Earth. By the 20th, humans had only just begun to look at the sky with wonder. The Sun has been circling for billions of years, and it will continue for billions more. Its path is steady, graceful, unending. Now imagine yourself aboard the Earth, carried along on this galactic journey. You are part of the 20th lap, riding smoothly through space. Every breath you take, every moment you live, is part of this immense cycle. As you breathe in, picture the beginning, the Sun's first orbit, young and full of fire. As you breathe out, picture the future orbits yet to come, journeys yet to be made, past, present, and future, all part of the same endless circle. The Sun does not hurry. It moves at its own rhythm, steady and calm. And tonight, you too can rest in that rhythm, knowing that you are part of a voyage that has lasted billions of years and will last billions more. Now let us look closer at the path of the Sunday. It does not move in a perfect, flat circle. Instead, as it orbits the galactic center, it also bobs up and down through the plane of the Milky Way. Imagine a wave, gentle and smooth. The Sun rises above the galactic plane, then dips below it, then rises again like a boat carried by the swell of an invisible sea. This oscillation takes tens of millions of years. It is slow, graceful, unhurried. Picture yourself riding on Earth, carried with the Sunday. You rise through the stars, then drift downward again, like breathing on a cosmic scale. Up and down, over and over, for billions of years. Some scientists wonder if this motion influences life on Earth. When we pass through denser regions of the galaxy, perhaps more comets are disturbed, more cosmic events unfold. But whether or not this is true, the image is beautiful. Our solar system, not fixed, but gently swaying as it travels through the galaxy. As you breathe in, imagine the rise, the Sun drifting upward. As you breathe out, imagine the fall, the Sun dipping gently below. Your breath and the Sun's motion, aligned, calm, endless. This oscillation reminds us that even in great journeys, there are smaller rhythms. That movement is not only forward, but also up and down, side to side, back and forth. And in those rhythms, there is peace. Tonight, as you rest, let yourself sway with the Sunday, a passenger on a journey that is not only around, but also above and below a dance within the greater dance of the galaxy. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. Now, imagine the Milky Way not only as the spiral of stars you see in pictures, but as something larger, hidden, surrounding it all, the galactic halo. The halo is vast and faint. It stretches far beyond the spiral arms, a ghostly sphere surrounding the galaxy. Within it float old, lonely stars, remnants from the earliest days of the universe. Some drift in solitude, others gather in ancient globular clusters, circling like satellites around the spiral disk. But most of the halo is not visible at all. It is made of dark matter, mysterious, unseen, yet heavy with gravity. Dark matter does not shine. It cannot be touched or seen. But without it, the galaxy would fly apart. It is the invisible glue holding everything together. Picture yourself drifting into the halo. The spiral arms fall away behind you, glowing faint in the distance. Around you, space seems emptier, quieter. A few old stars drift like lanterns in the dark. And everywhere, though you cannot see it, the quiet weight of dark matter surrounds you, holding you steady, anchoring the galaxy. As you breathe in, imagine the faint light of those ancient stars. As you breathe out, imagine the invisible calm of dark matter, a silent presence embracing the Milky Way. The halo reminds us that not everything important can be seen. That often, the most vital things are invisible: gravity, love, memory, time. And in the stillness of the halo, you too can rest, held gently by what is unseen. Now let us drift closer again, to companions you can see with your eyes. Orbiting the Milky Way are two bright dwarf galaxies, glowing softly in the southern sky. They are called the Magellanic Clouds, the large and the small. These clouds are not clouds at all, but galaxies, each with billions of stars. They orbit our Milky Way like faithful companions, smaller but luminous, drifting slowly through space. From Earth's southern hemisphere, they look like patches of mist, hanging low in the night. For ancient peoples, they were guideposts, markers in the sky. For sailors, they were trusted lights, constant even when the seas were rough. Now imagine floating above them. You see the large Magellanic Cloud, a swirl of stars and gas, glowing faintly blue with regions of star formation. Within it lies the Tarantula Nebula, one of the most active star factories known, blazing with new suns. Nearby, the small Magellanic Cloud drifts quietly, smaller, softer, yet filled with its own treasures of light. Together, they circle the Milky Way, companions in the long journey around the cosmos. Sometimes they give, shedding gas that flows into our galaxy. Sometimes they take, capturing stars, shaping their own destinies. It is a dance of galaxies, gentle and slow. As you breathe in, picture the glow of the clouds, faint but steady. As you breathe out, imagine their patience, orbiting calmly for billions of years. The Magellanic Clouds remind us that even giants like the Milky Way are not alone. Every traveler has companions. Every journey has neighbors. And tonight, as you rest, let yourself feel the comfort of that truth, that even across the vastness, nothing drifts alone forever. Take a deep, slow breath. Now imagine the Milky Way not only as a glowing spiral of stars, but as a living being, always growing, always changing. Our galaxy is not still. It feeds, slowly, gently, on smaller galaxies that drift too close. The Sagittarius dwarf galaxy, once whole, is now stretched into streams of stars, wrapping like ribbons around the Milky Way. Other dwarfs, too, are being pulled apart, their stars added to our halo, their light joining our own. This process is not violent, not sudden. It is slow, taking billions of years. Like rivers merging into the sea, these galaxies dissolve quietly into the larger spiral. Now picture yourself drifting through one of these streams of stars. They form glowing arcs across the sky, long trails of light left behind by a galaxy being absorbed. Each star once belonged to another home, another family. Now they are becoming part of ours. The Milky Way grows by this gentle cannibalism. And in doing so, it reminds us of something, that endings are not always destruction. Sometimes endings are transformation. Sometimes becoming part of something greater is its own kind of survival. As you breathe in, imagine the gathering of stars. As you breathe out, imagine their slow blending into the spiral. The Milky Way whispers, "Nothing is ever truly lost. All light finds a place. All stories continue, woven into the larger whole." Now look closer at the sky. Amid the stars, faint and delicate, are long stellar streams, rivers of light that arc across the galaxy. These streams are the remains of galaxies and clusters that the Milky Way has absorbed. As they were pulled apart, their stars stretched into long trails, still circling the galactic center in graceful curves. They are the footprints of past mergers, the echoes of galaxies that no longer exist, but whose stars remain. Imagine drifting along one of these streams. It stretches before you like a ribbon of pearls, thousands of stars glowing faintly, each one carrying the memory of its lost home. The stream curves across the darkness, wrapping around the galaxy like a soft scarf of light. Some streams are so faint they are nearly invisible, discovered only through careful maps of star motions. Others shine more clearly, reminders that the Milky Way has been built not only by creation, but also by absorption. As you breathe in, imagine gathering these threads of starlight. As you breathe out, imagine weaving them into the great spiral. Every star continues its journey. Every galaxy leaves behind a trace. The streams are not ghosts, but bridges connecting past to present. They remind us that nothing vanishes completely. Every story leaves a trail. Every life leaves a glow. And in the quiet night, those streams continue to circle, eternal rivers of memory flowing through the Milky Way. Now, let us zoom out again. The Milky Way, Andromeda, and dozens of smaller galaxies form the local group. But the local group itself is not still. It is moving, carried by the pull of something greater, the Virgo cluster. The Virgo cluster is a massive collection of galaxies, far larger than our group. Its gravity is immense, and it tugs at us across millions of light years. Slowly, gently, it draws us in. Picture the local group as a small boat on a vast sea, drifting toward a great island glowing with light. That island is Virgo, a place of thousands of galaxies shining together. We cannot feel the motion, but it is there, steady, constant, inescapable. Imagine yourself floating with the local group. You see the Milky Way beside you, Andromeda just beyond. The Magellanic Clouds trail behind like lanterns. Together, you drift, pulled by the gravity of Virgo, toward a brighter, denser region of the cosmic web. This fall will take billions of years. There is no rush, no urgency. It is a slow journey, a gentle current in the great ocean of space. As you breathe in, imagine that current carrying you forward. As you breathe out, let yourself relax into its rhythm. The universe moves not in haste, but in patience. And so do you. The local group's path reminds us that we are not stationary, not separate. We are part of a larger flow, drawn toward greater gatherings, carried on currents older than time itself. Take a long, gentle breath. Now imagine the Milky Way and Andromeda, two vast spirals glowing in the dark. For now, they are distant, separated by millions of light years. But gravity binds them, and their paths are already set. In about 4 billion years, the two galaxies will collide. It sounds sudden, even violent, but in truth, it will be slow, almost graceful. Stars are so far apart that very few will ever touch. Instead, the galaxies will weave through each other, stretching, twisting, merging. Picture it, two spirals drifting together, their arms blending like rivers joining in the sea. For a time, the night skies of distant worlds will blaze with new constellations, galaxies overlapping, filling the heavens with light. Nebulae will glow brighter. Clusters will scatter. And in the end, the two galaxies will settle into one, a single, larger galaxy, calm and new. Astronomers call it Milky Way, a future home, born of two giants joining hands. As you breathe in, imagine the slow pull of gravity guiding this destiny. As you breathe out, imagine the peace of knowing that even great collisions can lead to union, not destruction. The future Milky Way reminds us that endings are beginnings, that even when paths converge, beauty can be born. And though we will not be here to see it, tonight we can drift in its promise, two galaxies merging, like dancers meeting at last. Now let us look beyond our own galaxy. Across the universe, collisions like the one awaiting the Milky Way and Andromeda happen all the time. It is part of the life of galaxies. When galaxies meet, they do not shatter, they dance. Their stars pass through each other like ghosts, while their shapes distort, arms stretching into long tidal tails, glowing arcs across the dark. Gas clouds collide, triggering waves of new star formation. The galaxies merge, and from two, a new one is born. Imagine drifting near such a collision. You see two spirals approaching, their arms pulling outward, bridges of stars forming between them. You see bursts of light as new suns ignite, nebulae glowing brighter than ever. And though the scene is immense, there is no rush. The process takes hundreds of millions of years, slow and patient. Collisions are not accidents. They are part of cosmic growth. The largest galaxies in the universe, the giant ellipticals, are built this way, mergers upon mergers, until they shine with the light of 1 trillion stars. As you breathe in, imagine the approach galaxies drifting together. As you breathe out, imagine the blending two becoming one. No haste, no fear. Only the slow rhythm of creation, destruction, and renewal. The universe is a place of collisions, yes, but it is also a place of harmony. Every meeting leads to transformation. Every encounter becomes a new beginning. And tonight, as you close your eyes, you too can imagine this slow dance galaxies, merging across eternity, quiet and beautiful. Take a deep breath. Now imagine the future, far beyond human time. The Milky Way and Andromeda, after billions of years of drifting closer, have collided. Their arms have tangled, their stars have mingled, their shapes have stretched and warped. And slowly, patiently, the chaos settles. The spirals fade, their graceful arms dissolving into something new. What remains is a vast, glowing elliptical galaxy, rounder, smoother, calmer. Astronomers call this future galaxy Milky Way, or sometimes Milkdromeda. It will shine brighter than either spiral alone, containing the stars of both, as well as those born during their collision. It will be a city of light, larger and rounder than our Milky Way, glowing at the center of the night. Imagine yourself drifting within Milky Way. The spiral patterns are gone. Instead, you float in a sea of stars, spread evenly in all directions. The core glows with new brilliance, while ancient stars shine softly around you. It is not destruction, it is transformation. From two, one, from spirals, an ellipse, from chaos, calm. As you breathe in, imagine the gathering of galaxies into one. As you breathe out, imagine the peace of their final form. Milky Way is not a violent end, but a serene new beginning, a reminder that change, even vast change, can lead to harmony. And tonight, as you rest, you too can drift into that harmony, carried billions of years into the future, where galaxies have merged and peace fills the sky. Now let us return to the present and to a sky you know. Tonight, if you are under a dark sky, you may see a faint smudge, the Andromeda Galaxy, a tiny blur, far away, just at the edge of vision. But this will not always be so. As the galaxies drift closer, Andromeda will grow brighter, larger, more detailed in the night. In a few billion years, it will dominate the heavens, a glowing spiral stretching across the sky, brighter than the moon, filling the night with its arms. Imagine standing on Earth, or on another world in the solar system. Looking up at that future sky, you see Andromeda rising, not as a faint cloud, but as a luminous galaxy, immense and breathtaking. Its spiral arms arch across the horizon, overlapping with the stars of the Milky Way. Two galaxies, side by side, their beauty unmatched. And as they draw nearer still, the sky becomes even more extraordinary. The galaxies overlap. New patterns of stars form. The night becomes a painting of light, alive with detail, alive with promise. As you breathe in, imagine that future sky, vast, radiant, endless. As you breathe out, let yourself sink into its calm beauty. Andromeda's approach reminds us that the universe is never still, that even the night sky, which seems eternal, is changing. Slowly, gracefully, it transforms. And tonight, as you rest, you can dream of that future horizon, a sky filled not just with stars, but with galaxies, shining together. Take a deep, calming breath. Now imagine two galaxies drifting together, their stars weaving, their arms stretching, their clusters blending. At the heart of each spiral lies a supermassive black hole, silent, patient, immovable. As the galaxies merge, these giants begin to move closer. At first, slowly, circling each other across thousands of light years. Then, little by little, gravity pulls them inward. Their orbits tighten, their dance accelerates, until at last, they collide. When two black holes merge, they do not explode. They do not shine with fire. Instead, they ripple space itself. Gravitational waves spread across the cosmos, gentle tremors in the fabric of reality. These waves travel for billions of years, reaching even us, faint but measurable. Picture yourself drifting near such a merger. The black holes are invisible, yet their presence bends the stars around them. Space curves, light arcs, time itself feels different. And then, quietly, the two become one. A single black hole, heavier, stronger, calmer. As you breathe in, imagine the slow approach, two giants circling. As you breathe out, imagine the peace of their union, one heart, where there were two. Black hole mergers remind us of patience. Even the greatest of forces take eons to meet. Even the most powerful of unions happens in silence. And tonight, as you rest, let that silence cradle you, the quiet joining of giants, felt only as a whisper across the universe. Now let us turn to another wonder of colliding galaxies, the tidal tails. When two galaxies pass near each other, their gravity stretches, and pulls at the stars. And from this pull are born long, glowing streams of light, like ribbons unraveling in the dark. These tidal tails can stretch for hundreds of thousands of light years. They are delicate, fragile, yet magnificent bridges of stars connecting one galaxy to another. Imagine drifting along one of these tails. You see stars scattered like pearls, stretched in a long arc, curving through the void. Some are blue and young, newly born in the chaos of the collision. Others are old, wandering far from their homes. Together, they form a glowing path, a scar of beauty left behind by gravity's hand. From Earth, astronomers see these tails in galaxies across the sky. They are reminders that the universe is dynamic, alive with motion. Galaxies do not simply exist. They interact, they pull, they change. As you breathe in, imagine the stretching of these stars, pulled into graceful arcs. As you breathe out, imagine the calm after their creation. A ribbon left hanging in space, frozen in slow motion. Tidal tails remind us that even in disruption, there is beauty. That even in endings, light is left behind. And as you close your eyes tonight, you can drift along one of those glowing arcs, a passenger on a river of stars curving endlessly across the night. Take a long, slow breath in and gently release it. Now, imagine drifting farther from the Milky Way, farther even than Andromeda. Beyond individual galaxies, you begin to see them in groups, clusters of galaxies, bound together by gravity. A galaxy alone is vast, but a cluster can contain hundreds, even thousands of galaxies, each one glowing, each one alive with stars, all held in the embrace of invisible dark matter. Picture one of these clusters, stretching across millions of light years. From afar, it looks like a shimmering jewel box, filled with spirals, ellipses, and irregular shapes. From within, it feels endless galaxies on every side, drifting like lanterns in the sea. These clusters are the largest structures held together by gravity in the universe. They are cosmic cities, each galaxy a building, each star a light in a window. Between them lies hot gas, glowing faintly in X-rays, filling the space with invisible energy. Now imagine yourself drifting through such a cluster. You pass by galaxies like the Milky Way, glowing spirals with their own worlds. You pass giant ellipticals, swollen with stars, brighter than anything else nearby. Everywhere you look, there is light, there is motion, there is connection. As you breathe in, picture the strength of gravity holding these giants together. As you breathe out, imagine the calm unity of their shared existence. The cluster reminds us that even the largest things in the universe are part of something greater, that we are never alone, even at the grandest scale. Now, let us zoom out even further. Beyond the galaxies, beyond the clusters, lies a pattern so vast it stretches across the entire universe. Astronomers call it the cosmic web. The cosmic web is made of superclusters, enormous groups of clusters connected by filaments of galaxies. Between them lie vast voids, empty and silent. From afar, it looks like lace or a net or a brain lit with neurons of light. Imagine yourself floating outside it all. You see golden threads stretching across the dark, each one a line of galaxies linked together. The filaments twist and intersect, nodes glowing where clusters gather. It is the architecture of the universe itself, the skeleton of creation. The Milky Way, our galaxy, lies within one small part of this web, inside a supercluster called Laniakea. We are one point among trillions, one spark in an endless network. As you breathe in, imagine the light flowing through these threads, like electricity through a brain. As you breathe out, imagine the calm knowledge that we are connected to it, all one galaxy, in one cluster, in one web. The cosmic web reminds us of unity, that the universe is not random, but patterned, that its structure echoes life itself, neurons firing, rivers branching, roots spreading. And tonight, as you rest, you can dream of drifting through that web, following its threads of light into infinity, calm, connected, eternal. Take a long, slow breath. Now imagine looking up at the night sky. You see stars, thousands of them, glittering like dust on black velvet. But those stars are only from our own galaxy. Beyond them lie galaxies, not hundreds, not millions, but 2 trillion galaxies in the observable universe. Each one is a Milky Way of its own, a home to billions of suns, billions of worlds, billions of possibilities. And the Milky Way, grand as it is just one among this sea of light. Picture yourself floating in space, zooming farther and farther out. First, you see the Milky Way, a glowing spiral. Then clusters of galaxies, like islands scattered across a cosmic sea. Then superclusters, stretching into filaments. And finally, the vast cosmic web, with galaxies too many to count, too many to imagine. And yet, though it is vast, it is also peaceful. The galaxies do not rush. They drift, they shine, they endure. As you breathe in, imagine inhaling that immensity. As you breathe out, imagine the calm of knowing that you are part of something so much larger. The Milky Way is not alone. It never has been. It is one lantern among trillions, each glowing in the silence of the dark. And tonight, as you rest, you too can drift into that silence, floating among 2 trillion galaxies, infinite lights in an endless night. Now let us travel not across space, but across time. When we look far enough into the universe, we are also looking into the past. Light takes time to travel, and the most distant galaxies we see are more than 13 billion years old. That means when their light reaches us, we are seeing them as they were near the dawn of the universe. Small, fragile, just beginning to form stars. They are not grand spirals like the Milky Way, but tiny, irregular shapes glowing faintly against the darkness. Imagine yourself drifting back through time. The galaxies grow smaller, younger, closer to their birth. You see stars igniting for the first time, filling the night with light where there was once only silence. You see clusters forming, galaxies colliding, the first structures rising in the cosmic web. These galaxies are ancient in age, but newborn in form. They show us what the universe looked like when it was young, when everything was just beginning. As you breathe in, imagine that first light filling the dark. As you breathe out, imagine the calm of knowing that you, too, are connected to that beginning. For the light of those galaxies has traveled across billions of years just to reach your eyes. It has crossed space, crossed time, to tell you its story. And tonight, as you close your eyes, you can drift back with it, back to the dawn, back to the first sparks, back to the moment when the universe awoke. Take a deep, slow breath. Now, lift your gaze to the night sky. Every star you see, every spark of light, is not how it is now, but how it once was. Because light takes time to travel. The nearest stars are only a few years away in light. Others, hundreds. Some, thousands. So when you look at the Milky Way, you are seeing a living memory, a picture painted long ago, traveling across space to reach your eyes tonight. Imagine one bright star above you. Its light began its journey when you were not yet born. Another, when humans were still writing their earliest stories. Another, when mammoths still roamed the earth. The galaxy is a library of echoes. Each photon, each beam of light, carries a message from the past. Some stars may already have changed. Some may have dimmed, but their light still travels, still arrives, still whispers their story. As you breathe in, Imagine receiving these whispers, gentle and calm. As you breathe out, imagine sending your own light forward, into the future, a glow that will one day be seen by others. The Milky Way reminds us that nothing is ever truly gone. Light lingers. Stories linger. The past still shines in the present. And tonight, as you rest, you can dream of drifting among those echoes, walking through a hall of starlight, where every glow is a memory, and every memory is eternal.